Danny says that the government's job is simply to preserve life per se, simply to make sure that every body stays alive physically, we don't think that's the job of the government. We think that the job of the government is to preserve the meaning of life that its citizens have. We don't think that perhaps a Jehovah's Witness who thinks that the purity of their body is paramount for their entering heaven would actually be saved if, for instance, they had a transplant of a pig's heart into their body. They would no longer feel that life is actually meaning anything. They would no longer believe that life is actually, anything worth to have. I mean, that's something that only the government believes. And we don't think that the government should say that, you know what, life is all important over everything. We think that the citizens of the government, rather, should have that right, should have the right to determine what's actually important to them, and should actually have the right to make choices for themselves, rather than being imposed other values by a government who doesn't even know what these people think. So I think that, so let's talk about what Danny has said. First of all, she says about how religion hampers logic, how somehow that simply because they're making a choice based on religion, it means that it's wrong. Simply because they don't see its scientific benefit, it's wrong. Well, guess what? Not all people see that scientific benefit is paramount, is all important to other things. I think that, in my point of pursuit of happiness, we think that everyone has the right to find their own happiness. We think that the parameters of happiness are different for each person. And no, this is an argument. So we think that religious people here, they believe in an afterworld. We think that life per se does not actually mean happiness. That life actually has to have a meaning. Therefore, if simply they're going to accept something simply on scientific benefit, it doesn't necessarily mean that the life given to them because of that treatment will actually give them happiness. It means that when you actually let the government impose this belief that life per se is all important, rather than perhaps God, rather than the afterlife, rather than perhaps the purity of your body. Believe that when that happens, it means that the government is actually imposing beliefs onto its citizens. We think that it's forcing people to believe that life is paramount over everything else. And it means that you're denying that people don't think, that some people don't think that life is ultimate. That you're denying the fact that people don't think that way. That other things also determine the quality of life. So what did this actually bring when you're actually when the government is imposing such beliefs onto these people? First of all, it would be a psychological burden, because you think that they would no longer feel the sense of power. They would no longer feel that they actually have power over their own body and life. They would feel that everything in life that happens after that surgery, after they've been forced to do something that they don't want to do, makes the rest of their life meaningless. Because guess what? You don't have any power over what you want to do over your own body. The government does. And that means you don't have control over life anymore. So the government is allowed to dictate what you actually want, how you want to live. And furthermore, they would actually feel impure, because you think that these people who actually reject medical treatment because of religious reasons are usually people who are, fundamentally religious, who are very devout, who are very orthodox towards a certain religion. And therefore, once you actually impose, once you actually violate the religious beliefs of someone this way, it means that they would no longer feel pure. They would no longer feel that they were holy in the face of their God, for example. They would see that their bodies, that their lives have been changed irreversibly by the government without their consent. And the rest of their lives would simply be an empty shell. They would no longer feel that their lives have any meaning, because they would no longer see that life has any worth to actually go through. So therefore, we think that the pursuit of happiness would actually be violated by this motion. But first of all, dito.
Don't you think that this is not all about themselves, but it is all about social contract and how they should contribute to society if they still have the power to live on, sir?
So what kind of contribution of society are you doing when you simply want your own person to live? You think that whether you want to live or die, what kind of surgical treatment you want to have, it's solely up to you. It should not be a public matter. It's not up to the society or up to the government what kind of treatment you want to choose. Furthermore, when Danny says about, for instance, how it is a public matter, about how somehow a lot of people would suddenly reject medical treatment and they would die simply because some people don't undergo surgery. We think that this is a private matter. It doesn't mean that every single surgery would actually be suddenly publicized and everyone would say, you know what, I rejected the treatment because I'm a Jehovah's Witness. We don't think that somehow every single person in society would suddenly be rejecting medical treatment because of this. Because we believe that these people have certain beliefs, and these beliefs are not shared by every single person. And therefore, it's always up to the moderates, or the orthodox people, or the atheists, on what they're going to choose for their treatment. And so we don't think that somehow that this epidemic of people dying because of religious reasons would actually happen. So second of all, when Danny says about how it's the authority of the government, about how life is the source of all rights, about circumcision and all these things, we think that it's not the authority of the government to actually deny these people of religious autonomy, which is my second point, by the way. So we think that religion here to these people is all important. We think that it defines their very life. We think that it's everything to their lives. We think that it defines their life, their identity. Every single thing that they do, every single second is defined by what they believe in. And so we think that when you deprive them of this religion, then it means that they're simply nothing. It means that your existence is simply nothing on the face of the earth. You're just a living body with no soul. And we think that this is bad. We think that this is that the belief of religion that people have is logical, because we think that the government always allows these choices to happen. We think that the government allows these people to think for themselves, because the government sees that these people are adults, that they can't think for themselves, and the government cannot impose a certain kind of logic to every single person, because the government recognizes that every person has an ability to think on their own, and this includes what religion, what ideology they want to uphold in their way. For instance, it's fasting. I mean, fasting is something that you impose on your body. It's life-threatening because you go on deprived of food and nutrition, but the government allows that because these people are rationally thinking. Because these people know that they could die, but they are still doing it because they know the risk, but they believe that that is what is right. And we think that the government does not forbid people to do this, because these are all options that people do on a rational basis. We don't think that the government should simply say, because it's religious, then you're irrational. We think that, like politics, for example, you don't always do this on a rational thing. So we think that this is rational, first of all, because you're basing these thoughts on a solid base, as from an ideology, which is religion. And second of all, they're also doing this on the basis of their own welfare. I mean, for instance, they would say that you have to go to Mass in order to have the best welfare if you're a Christian. You have to wear a veil to have the best welfare if you are a Muslim. So when these people say they want a certain medical treatment, it's also in full consideration of what would be best for them. And I think that this is the rights the government should get to gain the best life that they believe is right, not the government. So therefore they too.